We are here today not because of what we are. We are here today is because of who we are. We are concerned Malaysians who share a common goal, and we are in this together to generate this agenda for change in Malaysia. I am humbled to stand in front of you as the current pro tem chairman of Friends of Pakatan Rakyat. Going forwards, we hope to formalize this organization with a constitution in place, with properly elected members, and so forth. And we hope to achieve this by the end of this year. Now, that doesn't mean that we're just going to leave it as it is from now till then. We're going to continue with various activities, various programs, so that the continuity will be there. And that's what we intend to do. The programs that we've in mind, I will go through slowly but surely. But the most important thing I want to say is in early 1956, a young Malay prince by the name of Tunku Abdul Rahman came here, led a delegation to try and initiate discussions with the British government to try and secure independence for the then Malaya. On the 8th of February 1956, the Tunku finally got an independence treaty signed, which then eventually, as you all know, led to the Malaysian independence on the 31st of August 1957. All this happened here in this city, London. Today, the 4th of July 2010, we are once again assembling here in London. The Friends of Pakatan Rakyat have decided that a new agreement will be signed, a new agreement for a new Merdeka for the people of Malaysia. Because the last 53 years, we decided, the citizens decided we'll give the mandate to the politicians to be the boss, and we be the servants, so that they can manage the wealth of Malaysia and they can manage the prospects of bringing Malaysia up. Unfortunately, increasingly, more and more Malaysians have become disillusioned with the performance. So we are here today, this day, the 4th of July, to sign a new agreement to say the Rakyat will be the boss. Politicians will be the servants. They will answer to the Rakyat. And the Rakyat will decide what we're going to do with the remaining wealth of Malaysia and how we're going to propel Malaysia back to the glory days, to the top of the league in Asia, which we were. Unfortunately, we have come down. And that is the agenda of Friends of Pakatan Rakyat. Our economy, as you know, is now in shambles. Yes, the ruling party would not agree. They rather live in self-denial. But the very minister from the Prime Minister's department, Idris Jalla, announced a couple of weeks ago that if things remain, if we maintain the status quo, Malaysia will be a bankrupt country in the year 2019. So there is a sheer urgency for now. There's a sheer urgency for the Rakyat to tell the government, enough is enough, we have to take charge. We will initiate the strength of the Rakyat to propel the change, because that's very important. To do this, we need the support, not of all of us here. We are, in a sense, the privileged people. We are middle class, perhaps, some more, some less. But we need to reach the heartlands of Malaysia. We need to reach out to the marginalized poor Malays who are still in the villages, not really having achieved much in 53 years. We need to reach out to the poor Chinese who are still in the villages, who still have not seen the wealth come to their doorstep. We have to reach out to the marginalized Indians who have been displaced from the estates and who are still living a life with red ICs, not knowing where they are heading for. This is the kind of change we need to initiate. We then have to look at our brothers and sisters in Sabah and Sarawak, all the interiors, the natives, whose very existence is being undermined in the name of development, by changing their habitat and displacing them. We need to look after all these people. But one of the things that all of these people, these marginalized people have, is the strength of one person, one vote. That is the power that we want to harness. That is what is going to make the Rakyat very strong. Not all the money in the world, not anything, because in the system we have, it is about one person, one vote. That is why it's important for all of us to go back and pass this message down line and tell everyone, get your friends to vote, because that is the power we have. We are here in Friends of Pakatan also to try and harness, in our way, to try and harness the strength of overseas Malaysians. If you consider, there are at least about 500,000 Malaysians living abroad, combined with Malaysians who have emigrated and now are former Malaysians. Now, if you were to, some people say it's 500,000, some people say it's 1 million, if you look at a period of, say, 20 to 30 years. Now, if we could averagely collect 100 ringgit from each of these overseas Malaysians, we will have a chest of 50 million ringgit, which is good in preparation for the next general election. Because whether we like to believe it or not, general elections in Malaysia is very dependent on financial strength. If you do not have the financial strength, it's very hard to fight elections. That's why Pakatan Rakyat will struggle, because they cannot match the might of the financial strength of the ruling party. So obviously, we have to reach out and we have to try and harness this strength. And Friends of Pakatan Rakyat has got a program now. We've got chapters being duplicated as I speak here today in Europe, in Canada, the USA, in New Zealand, in Australia, in Japan, China, India, all over the world. We intend to set up chapters, and we intend to harness the strength of Malaysians, bring back all the Malaysians with expertise, get them to come back home. Let's propel jointly. The Rakyat is going to be the boss. We'll propel our country back to the glory days that we are used to, or we were used to in the early 50s, 60s. That is one of our agendas. We will also, of course, to win elections now, you've got to use the latest technology. So overseas Malaysians, generally speaking, are all very qualified, they're professionals. So we will harness the multimedia age, and we'll bring back all this equipment. We'll bring the iPod, we'll leave alone the sex bots. We will bring all these things back so that we can propel this country to great heights. And the only way we can do this is through the ballot box. So it's so crucial that we reach out to the heartlands, to all our marginalized people who have virtually given up hope, and tell them, look, one man, one vote is still powerful. And we'll have to do that. And that is one of our challenges. We have been asked many times, what is this Friends of Pakatan Rakyat all about? And, what do we hope to achieve? Or are we just a one-day wonder and will disappear from here? It's not exactly the case. The Pro-Tem Committee has got various subcommittees, and we look at certain policies which we hope we can contribute to Malaysia so that together we can improve the system. We also have an overseas working group that is exploring the possibility of including overseas Malaysians who, as you know, as it stands right now, we cannot vote if we are here. But we're trying to make overseas Malaysians be inclusive in the voting system. We will continue to organize programs here in the UK as well to host visiting MPs, ADUNs, NGOs, activists, bloggers from Malaysia who are on visits to the UK so that they can come and inform us what's going on and where we are at with the various programs that we have. So these are the few things we're doing. In addition, we are hoping, we're not so well organized at the moment, but we are hoping as months go by to organize business seminars where Malaysian lawmakers can come over to the UK if they give us an instruction, hey, we want to meet some overseas investors to bring investment back to Malaysia. Then we will try and organize seminars so that amongst us, we've got a lot of professional businessmen, we can get engaged and try to bring back investment back to our country. Such an urgency now to get back and get this change program in place, because we may not realize it, but the general election might just be around the corner, and we have very little time, and we are hoping that we'll get the support of everybody. If you can pass this message on, which is what we intend to achieve, then I think we will achieve something together. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you. And may God bless Malaysia.